Hello! Today I'm going to show you how to crochet a shawl like this one here. We start down here, right in the middle, at the tip. And then we crochet one square more every row. That's why I call this pattern set theory, because you work with these squares and keep adding one square in every row. I used the Veronika Hug bubble cotton with 200 grams and a length of 800 meters. It consists of 50% cotton and 50% polyacrylic. This one here is the new color number 25, the color of this green shawl I just showed you. Here we have a couple more new colors. Here color number 21 and here color number 23. This blue is the new color number 24. And for the red one I sadly don't have any yarn left because I already made that into a shawl. Then there's one more, a purple one. So you see, a lot of new colors, and all of them come with a beautiful tone-on-tone color gradient. For this tutorial I'm going to use the blue color and weave in this nice glitter yarn in silver. You can get it at any Veronika Hug store and it runs 1000 meters. One of these per bubble cotton should be enough. Although I chose silver, you could also use gold. For example, if you wanted to make the green one, I think that would fit real nice. But for now I will use the silver one. I'm going to use a crochet hook size 4, which is a UK 8 or a US 6. I used the one from my needle case. Alright, now we're all set. This tutorial is not going to be too long because the pattern is quite simple. The crochet chart might be a little complicated for beginners, but of course you can have a look at it. You can find a link to the written crochet chart in the description below. It can help you learn how to read such charts if you watch the video first and then take a look at the crochet chart to see what is what. We start with a chain stitch. So first I build a loop for the beginning and then chain one stitch. Next I chain another 4 stitches as a replacement for the first treble crochet. Following that, we crochet a treble crochet into our first chain stitch here. That is already my first side of the first square. Then, again we chain 4 stitches. And then crochet a treble crochet into the same stitch where we started our 4 chain stitches before. So here we started the 4 chain stitches, so that's where I insert my hook now to do the treble crochet. One more time we chain 4 and again crochet a treble crochet into the same stitch where I started the chain stitch. So these are the first 3 sides to my first square. Every side of the square is built out of a pair of 4 chain stitches and a treble crochet. Only thing left is the connection piece here. For that, I now crochet 2 treble crochets into the first chain stitch here, the cast on stitch, that I then cast off together. For that, you yarn over twice. Then insert into the very first chain stitch and then work a treble crochet. But not all the way to the end. Instead, I leave the last 2 loops on my hook. Then I yarn over twice again and insert once more into that first chain stitch. Pull the yarn through, then cast off 2 loops together, then another 2, and last but not least we cast off the remaining 3. With that, my first square is finished. This is our base, and from this point on we continue with row 2, which is row 1 of our crochet chart. I now chain 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then crochet 1 treble crochet into the same stitch out of which we started the 5 chain stitches. One treble crochet. Chain 4 and another treble crochet into the stitch where we started the 4 chain stitches. Chain another 4 stitches and another treble crochet into the stitch where we started the 4 chain stitches. So this here is our first square. The base. And this here is the first square of the first row. We will close the square like this and connect it to the first one. To do that, we now crochet 1 slip stitch into our very first cast on stitch here. Then we start the second square of this first row. Chain 4 and 1 treble crochet into that first stitch, so the same that we just crocheted the slip stitch into. Chain another 4 stitches and a treble crochet. So in our second square we have this one side here that was already there, and now finished the second and third side, and the only thing left is to close it with the fourth side. For that we crochet 2 treble crochets that we cast off together into that stitch here. Same as before, leave the last 2 loops on the hook and then finish with the second treble crochet. And like that, you finish your first row. This one was the first square, our base. The cast on thread is here in the middle of our work, not at the bottom. So first square here, and then the 2 squares of the first row. Now we continue with row 2. I just realized that I totally forgot to weave in the glitter yarn. Well, it's not important for the tutorial, but sad anyway, because it looks really pretty. Just imagine I used it. So, for the second row we again start with 5 chain stitches for the height. So always chain 5 to start the first square, and then turn your work. Then a treble crochet into the same stitch where we started the 5 chain stitches. Chain 4 and a treble crochet into the first stitch, and again chain 4 and do another treble crochet. With that, we finished the first square of the second row. To close the square, we finish with a slip stitch here. One slip stitch right here in between these two sides. Chain 4 and a treble crochet into the first stitch where we start the 4 chain stitches. And again, chain 4 and another treble crochet into the first stitch where we started the 4 chain stitches. Because I'm in the middle of my work, the next square is already finished after 2 sides. So the second square of the second row is finished after only 2 sides. And now we close that by crocheting a slip stitch into this stitch here. We start the third square with another 4 chain stitches and a treble crochet. Into the first stitch we started the 4 chain stitches. And another 4 chain stitches and a treble crochet. So now we have 3 sides of our third square, and we close it with 2 treble crochets casted off together, just like I showed you before. Into that stitch in between the 2 sides. 1, 2. Now that we've finished these 3 squares, we can start our third row. The third row will be 4 squares. We start again with 5 chain stitches for the height, then turn our work and crochet a treble crochet into that same stitch where we started the 5 chain stitches. Chain 4 and a treble crochet into the first stitch, and again chain 4 and another treble crochet. We always need to crochet 3 sides for the first square. And after that, we close with a slip stitch. That is now the first square of our third row. The next 2 squares will be only 2 sides each. Chain 4 and a treble crochet, and chain 4 and another treble crochet, always back into the stitch where we started the chain stitches. Now close with the slip stitch and the second square is done. Chain 4 and a treble crochet, chain another 4 and another treble crochet, and another slip stitch. Chain 4, a treble crochet, chain another 4, treble crochet, and because this is the last square of the row, we close with 2 treble crochets that we cast off together. Now our third row is finished. We always add one square. Next is row number 4. We start again with 5 chain stitches for the height, then turn our work and crochet a treble crochet into that same stitch where we started the 5 chain stitches. Chain 4 and a treble crochet into the first stitch, and again chain 4 and another treble crochet. We always need to crochet 3 sides for the first square, and after that we close with a slip stitch. The next 3 squares will be only 2 sides each. One, two, and a slip stitch. Again, crochet the 2 sides, one, two, and close with a slip stitch. You can check once in a while if all your squares really are square. You don't want to make any mistakes and realize it at the end. And one more time we crochet 2 sides, one, two, and close with a slip stitch. Now we reach the last square of the row. Chain 4, a treble crochet, chain 4, treble crochet, and because this is the last square of the row, we close with 2 treble crochets that we cast off together. And just like that, you continue with the pattern. You chain 5, turn your work, then crochet 3 sides for the first square. After that 4 times, only 2 sides for the next 4 squares in the middle, and at the end you crochet 2 sides and close with 2 treble crochets casted off together. And so your shawl grows 1 square at a time, and you continue as long as you want, or until your ball of yarn ends with a complete row. As you can see here with the green one, it started out a light green, and at the end we finish with a much darker shade of green. With the color change and the very stretchy pattern, you will have a beautiful shawl that's gonna wrap comfortably around your neck. I hope you had fun with this tutorial. If so, you're welcome to subscribe to my channel. I frequently upload new ideas and designs. Hope to see you soon. Love, Veronika.